Hello, this is Headlines Nigeria on Internet Television International. I am Rachel Owa. Here's what's making the news in our national dailies. From next newspaper, Jonathan to swear in last batch of ministers. The number of women in the federal cabinet will increase by 2 today as Goodluck Jonathan swears in 2 females and a man as the final members of the Federal Executive Council, FEC. The women, Salamatu Suleiman, a lawyer from Kebbi State, and Yabawa Wabe, an accountant from Borno State, together with Mr. Kenneth Bagi, a lawyer from Delta State, are the ministers that will round up the cabinet. From the same paper, Jonathan cautions lawmakers over money laundering bill. President Goodluck Jonathan has cautioned the Senate over alterations to the anti-money laundering bill and anti-terror bills currently before it. The president, in a later address to the Senate President David Mark, asked him to note that every provision in the bills is in compliance with global instruments which Nigeria has signed and ratified. From this day newspaper comes the story Jonathan seeks National Assembly's nod for $4.4 billion loan, with the rider approves $3.5 billion national supergrade. President Goodluck Jonathan is seeking the approval of the National Assembly to take $4.427 billion external loan to finance critical infrastructure in the country. From the same paper, Ramadan fasting begins. Muslims in Nigeria have today joined their counterparts from other parts of the world to begin a month-long Ramadan fasting, during which time they are to abstain from food and drink from dawn till sunset. From the Vanguard newspaper, wage increase, research workers give federal government ultimatum. Over 60 research institutes, colleges of agriculture and allied institutions across the country yesterday in Abuja gave a 7-day ultimatum to the federal government to conclude stalled negotiations over wage increase and payments of outstanding monetization arrears, among others, or the entire research institutes nationwide would be shut down. Other stories making the news in our national dailies include: police confirm raid on Nembe traditional ruler's palace. Next newspaper. From the same paper, presidency delays appointment of bureau chief. And from this day, 3,000 senior civil servants write competency test. Tribune newspaper has this: Ramadan, NUT cleric Saraki admonish Muslims. Daily Trust, Muslims begin Ramadan fast today. Jonathan urges deep reflection. Moving over to political news now. The big news in our polity is that the Senate has approved a supplementary budget of 87.7 billion naira for the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. Lawmakers said this will aid the commission in organizing a credible election in 2011. Next newspaper, Senate approves 88 billion naira for INEC. Tribune, voter register, Senate approves 87.72 billion naira for INEC. The Guardian, Senate approves 87.72 billion naira for INEC. The National Caucus of the PDP rose from a meeting early morning yesterday, rejecting moves to initiate a process for the removal of provisions on zoning and rotation from the party's constitution. But the group agreed that President Goodluck Jonathan is free to stand for elections in 2011. On this issue, Daily Trust is carrying the caption, PDP Caucus, zoning stays. From Vanguard newspaper comes this interesting story: INEC, count me out of 74 billion naira controversy, Iwu. The immediate past chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Professor Maurice Iwu, has cautioned mischief makers to count him out of the controversy surrounding the proposed 74 billion naira voters registration, as he has absolutely nothing to do with it. Other political headlines include: Vanguard, nothing can stop my presidential ambition, IBB. Opposition parties worry over incessant defection. Next newspaper. And from Daily Trust, supporter dies as Buhari receives Masari, others into CPC. In business news, the caption on Daily Trust is: Jonathan approves 525 billion naira power project. President Goodluck Jonathan has approved the construction of a new national supergrade at the cost of $3.5 billion. And in Punch newspaper, Minister Nafada and others lose 404 million naira to 419 stockbrokers. The Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Alhaji Bayero Nafada, a serving minister and ex-minister of Health, Professor Batunde Oshotimehin, and 13 other Nigerians have been defrauded of about 404 million naira under the phony stock investment. Get more gist on this from the paper. Other business headlines include CBN seals 9 wonder banks in Kaduna, Daily Trust. 200 billion naira agri loan, NEC blames delay on banks this day. 944 jostle for NSC top jobs, this day newspaper. And in sports, Vanguard newspaper says we'll stick by the rules, says NFL electoral chairman. Nigeria Football Association Electoral Committee has declared its readiness to deliver a free and fair poll. This is coming at the heel of criticisms of the committee's handling of critical matters in the run-up to the elections. Adamu shocks all at Reps NFF probe, Daily Compass. Nigeria's representative in the executive committees of Confederation of Africa Football (CAF) and Federation of International Football Association (FIFA), Dr. Amos Adamu, shocked everyone yesterday when he declared that there is absolutely nothing wrong with Nigerian football. Daily Sun newspaper, Lagerbach was a mistake. Super Eagles former media man Peter Said Ida, who resigned immediately the Eagles were booted out of the competition, has said the coming of the sweet coach to the team, whose fresh ideas and tactics spelled catastrophe for the team. The Eagles' former safe hands said until African nations learn to give long-term contracts to national team coaches and embrace developmental program, there may be little or no change that they are clamoring for. And that's it on this edition of Headlines Nigeria. Thanks for logging on.